Live.
Woo!
Hello, everybody.
Happy New Year!
Happy New Year. Welcome to 2023. You know what today is? Today is January 4th, which is the day that the gym gets a little less crowded. And we all kind of wake up to the reality that it's going to take more than just a resolution in order to achieve our goals. All right. So today in the Marketing and Sales Mastermind, my co-host here, John Lavenia, who's on the other side of our house, and myself, Shannon Lavenia, want to talk to you today about putting your CEO hat on and how to actually set yourself up for the financial results that you do want to achieve in 2023. So the first thing that I want to say is congratulations on making it to 2023 with whatever you did accomplish in 2022. So the very first step is to acknowledge yourself, no matter where you're at in your business, whether you're just starting out, whether you crossed the milestone in income, whether you created massive expansion in your business, wherever you're at, you accomplished things last year that you probably didn't think you were capable of, probably didn't think that you were going to get through, probably didn't think you were going to make happen, but you did, right? You did. So first off, acknowledge that. Now, rolling into 2023, we want to make sure that you guys are setting yourself up to have a very powerful year. And there's a difference between thinking like a CEO of your business and doing strategic planning than kind of casually walking through the motions and hoping something works. So as you're starting your year off, I want you to sit down and I want you to build out your strategic plan. And that starts with, what is the gross income that you want to accomplish in 2023? What is that big outcome that you're going to be putting all of your time, effort, and energy, your determination, your persistence, your thinking cap on, your vision, all of that combined into creating on December 31st of this year? What do you want to turn to your friend and say, oh my gosh, I knew this was going to happen. Look at what I've accomplished this year, and it's blah, right? So what is that? John, I'm going to pass this over to you. So I don't.
Woo! Happy New Year, everybody. What Shannon just described, what you're gonna give your time, attention, energy, determination to, depends on a certain mindset. She's talking about a CEO mindset. What is a CEO? It's a chief executive officer. What is an executive? It's someone who makes the decision. So you've got to be a decision maker. If any of this is going to work, if all of your goals that you want to achieve and the money that you want to earn, if any of that is going to hold water, if it's going to bear fruit, then it's going to have to come from somebody who can make decisions. And the first thing we got to decide, very first thing is, what is it that you refuse to be denied? In other words, we're going to look at a goal, not just as, oh, I hope that happens to me, but I refuse to be denied the accomplishment of this. Now, that cannot be a vague thing. In Think and Grow Rich, Napoleon Hill said repeatedly, definiteness of plans, definiteness of decision, definite desire, right? So the key word in there is definite, not infinite, not vague, not nebulous, not blurry. Definite. In other words, finite, defined. So I'll tell you what, I don't get out of bed early in the morning for some vague, hopeful maybe. I don't get out of bed for maybes. Okay. I get determination and I allocate my attention and I make plans to achieve known goals, known quantities, known effects that I'm looking to create, not vague. So we can't be the executive. We can't be the decision maker if we're vague. This is a prerequisite to all of it. So one thing I would ask you to do, in fact, we did this with our clients yesterday. Some of our clients were together with us on a live coaching call. We ended our session with Shannon introduced an idea about a one-word strategy. If you could take your strategy for 2023 and boil it down to one word, what would that word be? Describe in one word the strategy that you will show up and deliver this year. All right. So again, that's definite. It's a definite period of time this year. Okay, great. So what is that one word? Something you can think about. And I can tell you it's different for everybody. I can tell you what my word is that I came up with was unapologetic. In other words, and this is just for me, but you may find this instructive. A lot of times, like everybody, got all these thoughts and considerations and stuff. Oh, maybe I shouldn't. You know what? Enough with all that. Just reach, just execute, just do. So that's my theme for this year. What's your theme for this year? So have that in mind as you're going forward and making plans. Because as Ben Franklin said, if you fail to plan, you're planning to fail. Was that Ben Franklin? I think it was. He was a smart guy, so we'll attribute it to him. So if you're failing to plan, you're planning to fail. I'm asking you to plan to succeed. And the way you can do that is by being definite about what you shall accomplish and shall not be denied. And then you'll start to attract, based on that strategy. In this case, I'm offering you an opportunity to have a one-word strategy based on that tenacity or drive or confidence, or whatever the word is for you that you want to go forward with. You'll find yourself starting to attract plans, opportunities, circumstances that conform to who you're being moving forward as the CEO in your own business and in your own life. Okay. Now, again, none of this happens if you're vague about what you're here to accomplish. So let's get unvague now. Okay. And then let's start to formulate plans. Are they going to be perfect plans that don't need adjustment or optimization? No, of course not. But I'll tell you what, having a plan is infinitely better than being vague. So Shannon, there's my preamble for what we're about to talk about today.
That's right. And there are specific plans. There are specific things that you have to plan for in a business. And I'm going to run through those with you just off my head here as we go. So because I've been doing this for a long time, right? 20 years coaching and mentoring entrepreneurs, speaking, book author, like all of that, right? So here's the reality of it. Throughout the year, you're going to be making offers for products that you have or are going to create. And the best way to figure out what you're going to be selling is to, one, know what's already sold in your business if you have an existing business that's operating. Two, figure out what they would need next, right? So if you have an existing customer base, people who have already bought your products, what's the next level that they would need, right? If you're a coach, have they purchased your intro coaching package and now they need your VIP program or your mastermind program, right? And then what new products are you going to offer that are filling a gap, right? What's a void that isn't being delivered in your business right now that you can be offering these products? And when are you going to be making those offers? So getting out your 12-month calendar, actually planning when are you launching those offers, right? When you have a launch or a release or something like that, then you're going to backtrack from that. What is your promotion? Now, already coming into 2023, you should have a promotional plan. Your promotional plan should be dialed in. You should know every day what you're going to be posting, what you'll be posting about, what your messaging is going to be, to ensure that that's actually happening on a daily basis. There really is no reason for you or I or anybody else not to be promoting on a daily basis. These days, there's tons of tools to automate in our own CRM automation, our Brand Builder AI. We have a social media planner where our clients build out their social media promotions and campaigns many months in advance, right? So what are you going to be promoting? If you know that you're going to be releasing a course or a coaching program or an offer in March, then you're going to start your promotions on that in February, right? So we're always thinking with what are we promoting? What is the calendar? What is the next offer? And then on top of that, we're thinking about what are our sales targets and how are we going to get those sales done? So if you're doing a coaching program and your goal or your outcome, your target is, let's say it's a $10,000 program and your target is to make, $300,000 with that launch. Well, that means that you need 30 people to purchase that $10,000 program in that one launch or offering. Is it realistic that you're going to be able to pull those 30 sales off by yourself? Probably not. Right? So who's going to be helping you? And then we're thinking strategically as the CEO of who are we going to have to, what butts are we going to have to put in the seats in order to assist us in achieving and accomplishing these goals, right? In our CEO Freedom Accelerator, one of the modules that all of our clients go through before we even get into strategy and offers is about being a CEO. It's thinking like a CEO. What things are you doing right now that are taking you out of your zone of genius? What things are you doing right now that you could pay somebody a fraction of what you bill or what you charge to get those things done? And building that into your strategic plan.
That's right. A way to play the small game is to think you've got to be all things to all people and do everything yourself. Okay.
Ooh,
and I say that,
that is very powerful. You should repeat that.
well, I'll say it again then. Here I come. The way to play the small game is to think you have to be all things to all people and do everything yourself. And I'm saying that from experience. In fact, Shannon, my secret weapon, is someone who got to school me on the ideas of leverage, right? And this comes down to like tiny little things that you may not think are a time or energy suck, okay, because you've been doing them habitually, but they are, and there are other people who can probably do it better than you and can do it for pennies on the dollar. Okay, so one example could be video editing. Okay, now I know in modern times, you don't even have to do a whole lot of video editing. There's a lot of raw, like reality TV kind of stuff. Okay, but let's say you need to, create the intro part, and then that goes into the video, and then you need to edit this out. We've got people who can do that better than I can, faster than I can, and for pennies compared to, what I could earn if I put my attention, and I only have so much attention. Okay, we all have one bucket of attention and we spend it all every day. You can't save it. Okay, so is it most valuable for me? Is it the best investment of my attention to learn video editing, so I can turn out a half a crappy product, whereas this other guy can do it expert and I don't have to have my attention on it at all. So you see, these are little things that as CEOs in our own life and our own businesses that we've got to, in some cases, find those leverage points and forsake a lot of our habits that kept us playing the small game. So that's part of the planning, right? Shannon mentioned, all right, so you got to close 30 sales to have the 300,000. Okay. Are you closing the sales? Now, if you're good at that, well, then that's your zone of genius. Okay. Now you just got to figure out the machinery to have, the right flow of people at the right time, so you're not leaving money on the table because there's only so much of you to go around. Okay. But let's say you're like most people who are not an expert closer. Okay. Who can you pay 10, 20, 30% to? I don't know, whatever the rate is for in your industry, that, or whatever you're willing to have them participate. And now they can do the thing that you're not so good at doing. Right. So this is part of planning. This is thinking, all right, well, if I really intend, no bullshit now, if I really intend to have that 300,000, hypothetical example, then what pieces do I have to have in place to get it? This is the difference between, planning to win or let me say it this way, playing to win versus playing to not lose. Mm-hmm. Playing to not lose is how most people do it, if they play at all. Okay, but they're playing to not lose. Let me just stick my toe in the water and then maybe I'll commit. No. It's like the old analogy of the guy standing in front of the fireplace saying, hey, give me heat and then I'll add the wood. Doesn't work that way, right? You got to commit. Give me the friggin' wood. Okay, and then we'll talk about heat. So this is the linear. I mean, it may sound like a silly little example, but it's what people do every single day. Give me heat and then I'll add the wood.
Well, that's a failure mechanism right there. So we've had people that come into our coaching program, and one of the first things that we do before we even give them the application is to really define and understand what their goals are. What do they want to accomplish? And we have had people come to our calls and say, I don't like to set goals because I don't want to feel bad, or I don't want to worry about not achieving them. Right? That's a failure mechanism. We know, like, I don't have a crystal ball, but I already know that person is perpetually not going to be successful. Right? And you can boil it down to the simplest of examples. Would you get in your car and start driving without having some type of destination? Right? No, you definitely wouldn't. What would you do when you got to the first four-way stop? Would you go straight? Would you go left? Would you go right? It would be overwhelming. So a lot of people think that, it's stressful to set goals because they're worried about not achieving them. I think it's stressful to not have goals because then you're always worried about not achieving, right? Always. It's a chronic state of no accomplishment, right? So
Well, it's indecision.
right, it's
Right.
indecision. In business as a CEO, we want to talk about also what types of decisions you'll be making. So if you have your strategic plan, if you sit down and you actually do this and you map out the rest of the year and you say, okay, this month I'm going to be offering this month I'm going to be offering that, and then you map it out back from that, and you set your targets. By this day, I'm going to have this completed. By this day, I'm going to have that completed. And you will have to make some adjustments. I'm not saying that. There's times in our business where I will have targets that were not met, and I'll go to John and I'll say, you know what? I have to literally go hole up in a hotel room this weekend to get back into, like, I'm at zero, right? Like, we're to catch up and stuff. So there's times when you do have to do things like that to catch up. But in business, there's the bigger decisions, which are like the macro decisions, like who do I need to hire? When do I want to hire them by? What's kind of the ideal of this person? What do I want them to do? What are the SOPs? Like, all that kind of stuff. And then there's these little micro decisions of like, oh, I sat down at my desk. What am I going to do now? Right? Those micro decisions are the decisions that literally kill your income, because you're making them over and over and over again because you haven't defined the bigger vision. So when you're sitting down at your desk and you're like, what should I promote today? Let me get on Facebook and do a post. And then 2 hours later, after you've read everybody else's post, you still haven't posted something because you don't know what the big overall arching plan is. If you know what the big overall arching plan is, you're able to get onto social media and post about exactly what the upcoming offer is, right? You're able to know exactly what you need to do to create the momentum and the motion. So there's a much higher level of doingness when you've already decided on the beingness. When you've already decided that at the end of the year, let's say your goal is $2 million. At the end of the year, you're the CEO who accomplished $2 million in gross revenue in your business. Well, the doingness on a day-to-day basis is much easier to know what to do when you're already living in that beingness.
Mm-hmm.
Right?
That's exactly, what, here's the other part of that, Shannon, and then we could talk for hours about this, but a lot of times we have blind spots because of our own habits, our own paradigms, our own beingness, as you say, right? It's like, well, I've always done it this way. I've always thought this way. I've always expected this much of myself, not too much, right? And I've always performed at this level, and maybe a little incremental increases and decreases, but nothing notable. So if we're looking to have a notable result this year, something of note, then it would be a really good idea to get a third-party objective view from a coach, a mentor, someone with your best interest in mind who could see things that you can't see. Case in point, I had this, we got a brand new client, just got started yesterday. And I'm not going to give you specifics, okay, because I want you to be able to see if this rings true for you without the specifics, okay? But here's a person who has vast experience in a specific area of expertise, who is able to save other people in that field who are in the trenches, who are able to save them hours and hours of time, helped one client get a promotion, another one get into a better working situation, helped another one have much more time with their family because they were no longer struggling with their own indecision and what should I do, right? Here's a person who's an expert, a bona fide friggin' expert at solving this problem for this specific marketplace. And they're among the best in the world at doing that. And they weren't getting customers. The few customers they had, think about this. If I could save you thousands and thousands of dollars, time, attention, energy, frustration, have you get a promotion, make more money, have more time with your family, is that worth something to you? Okay, great. They were selling their program for $47. $47. And they weren't even getting clients. There's an outpoint there. There's a blind spot. Shannon, would you say there's a blind spot there?
Yeah.
Right. There's certainly value that could be delivered. Somehow we're not connecting here. right?
Launch.
So, right.
Okay, sorry.
Well, what I'm going to say is that this person very astutely enrolled in our program, and now we're going to work on their stuff, and we're going to get rid of those blind spots. I'm going to get some money coming in, okay? Because this person's got some expertise that needs to get into the marketplace. So back to you, Shannon.
That's right, and that is the value of coaching and mentorship, because the reality is it does take vision. And once you decide on what you want to accomplish, and I'll say that that is the very first barrier, that decision, right? Lots of people are stuck in indecision. Well, what if? Well, what if it doesn't happen? Well, what if it does happen? Fear of success, fear of failure, blah, 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 right? And we could go on and on and on in a circle with that, right? So the very first thing is deciding what the outcome is. It's very easy for, a gold medal athlete to know what the outcome is. They cross the finish line first, right? It's a very simple, easy decision. In business, it's a little bit different. Sometimes you have to stretch your paradigm, stretch your thinking to create that target. And when we're starting with clients, a lot of times they'll think, do you think that's possible? And the reality is, look around in the world at the amazing things that people are accomplishing. Of course, it's possible, right? Then it takes deciding on the course of action. What are you going to do? And confronting those difficult decisions. I'm not going to sit here and preach to you and tell you that being a CEO, growing a 7-figure business is easy. I was a high school teacher. I taught high school biology. I had to make decisions I had never made before. It feels like you're jumping off a cliff, right? Into the unknown, because you literally are, right? You're going into the unknown with less skill or ability, right? I could never have done it if I didn't have a coach and a mentor. Never in a million years, because it takes a high, an intense level of courage to be able to make decisions and jump into the unknown, and with faith, take action and know that that's going to be an accomplishment and an achievement. And it takes somebody standing there in your greatness, enforcing the willpower and determination to stay the course, even though the evidence of whether it's working or not might be contrary. Right. So it really does take that level of intention and fortuitousness, I should say. Is that a word?
I'm gonna have to look that one up.
You're gonna look that one up. I might have made up a word, right? You know what I mean? Like strength. You have to be like steel. You have to
resolve.
You have to have resolve.
Yeah.
Right. And you obviously don't have to have a very good vocabulary in order to make this all go right.
You got to have the stuff, you do the stuff with the thing.
Right. That's right. So in summary, oh my goodness. Just so everyone knows, my IQ is 1 point higher than John's.
Sometimes.
It wavers. It wavers. Okay, so just to review, again, welcome to 2023. You need to sit your butt in a chair or do it on a wall or do it somewhere and work out your strategic plan. What is the outcome that you want for the end of 2023? What is that target that you are working endlessly towards? You really do have to know that, because that is going to be the kind of the lighthouse light for all the decisions that you're going to be making throughout the year on who you're hiring, what offers you're making, what promotion you're doing, what are you writing in an email, what opportunities are you saying yes to, what opportunities are you saying no to, right? That is going to be the guiding light. Then you're going to backtrack it in your calendar to make sure that you are hitting the targets, the creation, everything that needs to be done in order for you to actually manifest that outcome that you've decided on. And that could include hiring, it could include firing, it could include new offers, it could include perfecting existing offers, new ad methods, new communication channels, right? There's a lot of different things that you will be doing this year that are going to help you get to that target. And oftentimes people wish they had a business crystal ball. This is actually like having one, right? So anything else that you want to add, John, before we conclude?
Just that, everything we just said is stuff that we have actually seen work in our own lives and our own businesses. This isn't just theory, right? And aligning ourselves with other people who are on the path and who have walked the path before us just accelerated our own evolution into the business people we are now. So that's available for you as well. I mean, my goodness, you're here in this group and you know how to reach out to us. If you want to have a discovery session or something, we could talk about where you're at and where you want to go. And, the transformation, it doesn't have to take a long time, right? I know people who've sat in a state of, frustration and indecision, and then like everything just turned around, once they align things up, once they align their Venus flytrap, as we say. Inside joke. Anyway, yeah. We'd love to talk with you some more about your business if you're interested in help. And Shannon, with that, why don't we wrap up? It's good to be back here on Facebook Live and wherever you're seeing this. So
that's right. We will be out here quite often, and I would love to chat with you. So feel free to book a call with us at ceofreedom.com/discovery. Again, ceofreedom.com/discovery. And we will see you same time, same place coming soon. Talk to you later.